This is one of my Psion Organiser recreations. If I turn it on, you'll see that it's, there you go, it's got an OLED display rather than the LCD display. It's running an emulation of the LZ ROM at the moment. I'll turn it off. But what I'm doing with it is I'm investigating why normal data packs don't seem to work with the code. That's a whole different story. But what I'm using here is an interposer or an extender for data packs, which has got pin headers on it, and I'm using that to attach my logic analyzer so I can see the bus signals and bus cycles that are going on between the organiser and the data pack. Now I'm thinking of making a PCB for this because it would be useful having legends here with signal names on, and then it would be easier to attach the logic analyzer. I had to refer to the artwork of the PCB when I was attaching these. Don't really want to do that every time. So I thought I'd go through some of the other tools that I've built. This is a good one. This is a dip version of a flash data pack. So what you've got here is a flash data pack that doesn't work. This logic is incorrect. I'm using these flash chips, but the interface signals from the organiser are going up here into these dip ICs. They're exactly the same ICs that are on here, except they're dip format, so they're much easier to probe and also much easier to rewire. I had to rewire this to make it correct and make it work. And then the output from this, all the address lines and so on, are going back and talking to the flash chips. The world only needs one of those, I think. If anyone wants to borrow it, I've got it. This is a top slot adapter. It's a shield for an Uno. You can plug a top slot device in there and interrogate the ROM on it and various other signals and just see why it's not working if it's not working. Obviously I made this because something I'd made wasn't working. So I was using this to read the ROM out. I've also got a short interposer. This is just for probing signals on the oscilloscope really, and it's got protection resistors to limit the current if you do something silly on this side so that you don't damage the organiser. But I never do anything silly, so they've never actually been used. This is an interesting one. This is a butterfly sort of adapter for I haven't got a board here actually, but it's an adapter for organiser PCBs. So my recreation, I can plug a power PCB in on this side and one of the main boards on this side, and then probe the signals, because in the organiser they're folded together like this, and you can open it up and you've got access to all the signals on either side. So that's quite nice. You can't really use it with an old organiser, the original, because it's got a ribbon cable between the two boards, but you can take that ribbon cable off and then put pin headers and sockets on the two PCBs, and then they do actually fit together. It does work. And you could use this butterfly adapter because the number of pins on the organiser PCB is this number here. On the recreation I put some extra ones up here for other signals. So you could use it on the ordinary one if you took the ribbon cable off, soldered some pin headers on. But yeah, there's some of the tools that I've made to do various things with the organiser. Oh, there are other things that I've made like that, which is a prototype wireless adapter, but I wouldn't really call that a tool because it's just a one-off prototype. These things, especially this one, I use that quite a lot. These are usable in a number of situations, whereas this is really just one thing, not really very reusable. In fact, it probably ought to go in the bin once I've taken anything useful off it.